All right. Red light's on. Hopefully I don't have any more camera freezing issues. I froze like 3 times before I could even go live. So hopefully that works. Let's make sure. I don't see anybody in here yet, but I do show red light. Good crowd so far, Dave says. I don't show us live though. Jerry says, hi all. Chat, let us know. Are we showing live? Maybe I'll have to bring it up on YouTube. I still show
It is
nothing
not
working.
showing on YouTube yet.
Huh.
Oh, wait. There it is.
Are we just behind? Are we that delayed? Yep,
No,
there it goes.
just
Just
stopped.
shows 60 people jumped in. Okay.
The
What's
cold
happening,
weather.
Fish and Friends? Welcome to another live. It seems like we're a little bit delayed. Not sure what's going on here, but tonight should be a fun one. We almost had the 4 horsemen of the fish apocalypse. Old Jimbo was, I don't know where the hell he was going. He didn't say, but he's traveling, going out of town. I don't know if he's going down to Brand Center or wherever, but Jim is out. So we got Mr. Rand Dizzle. Dizzle, what's the good word?
It's cold, man. It is cold, cold, cold. And it just happened too. It seemed like it was fine. And then bang, freezing cold.
Yeah. Little chilly. It was, I had to go out and I came down and my sump pump was continuously running and my sump pump hose out there was completely froze. So I had to take that off and put the big PVC one on so it can pump water out. Oh, Hank, it's been a minute, buddy.
It has been, man. You know, with the way my schedule and everything has changed, Saturday is sort of family day now. So
I get
it's
it.
hard for me to kind of jump in. So if everybody hears screaming kids, I'm not torturing anyone. You know, it is, and some dogs. I'm not allowing dogs to attack small children. You know, we're just, it's the family in the living room and down the hall. It can act as a, you know, reverse megaphone.
Same. We've got the kids here, aunts here, so it's kind of loud upstairs. Sometimes they were running around playing with the dogs, so it's okay. It's a family show. Ralph in the house already. Always want to thank all my members. I appreciate y'all coming in, joining, throwing a little extra dough each month to help support the channel, just like Mr. Ralph. What's up, fellas? Y'all had a great Thanksgiving. I did. Hopefully you boys did. I haven't talked to you about Thanksgiving, but did you eat bunches of good food?
I did. I had to work it, but you know, triple time and a half. I'll take that.
Yeah, definitely good food. Always is.
Well, tonight we can start with a question here, but tonight I just want to say we're gonna have some fun, catch up with Hank. Like I was saying, we didn't even really get to talk a ton beforehand. I was having camera issues, but catch up with him. It's been a minute since he's been on, and then just kind of go around the old campfire here and talk. What are we doing for plans for fishing next year? What do we think that there might be changes in the industry or anything like that kind of coming up? So, Mike. Question for Dizzle. I'm going to stock up on jigs. Would you recommend the War Eagle have finesse? I think you meant heavy finesse or Beast Coast. What's your favorite Beast Coast model?
Honestly, I haven't used Beast Coast jigs very often. I mean, obviously, I'd always recommend the War Eagles. Unless you're buying them from a place around me, then I would say no, they're terrible. Don't buy them. buy something else. But I would also ask, you know, what type of body of water you're fishing. I know Beast Coast, Debo, those are the ones that you were fishing that one day. They offer a lighter weight than what the War Eagles
hybrid,
do.
yeah, the little hybrid finesse, whatever, that have like the hair, the marabou, hairy stuff
So
on it. Yeah, I like those. Those are really nice.
I would say if you're fishing around some of that really snaggy, bigger, chunky rock, I do tend to hang up quite a bit with, you know, a War Eagle jig in that situation. So it doesn't hurt to actually go with, you know, little of both camps, I guess. Maybe a Beast Coast for a little bit lighter of a weight, and then War Eagles for the rest.
Yep, mix it up. Parker, speaking of gear, Parker said review the SLX 70, convinced him to get one, fished it for the first time, caught 11 on a jerkbait. Hell yeah, man. Little 70's a workhorse. So speaking of plans, 2025, Hank, I know you've got some kind of cool news. Maybe everybody hasn't seen or heard, but kind of give us a quick introduction to what Hank's doing 2020.
Well, we still got to get the ducks in a row. Everything's got to be set. A few things here, a few things there. People who want to sign some dotted lines just to make sure. But the goal is, man, April the 1st. It's no joke. We're gonna go full time. We're gonna make it through the whole winter, and because winter can be tough for content creation. Even where I'm at, you guys are talking about it's cold, and I mean it's not going to get out of the mid 30s here for like the next week. I think low 20s and at night. So it's going to be total suckage, just to be honest.
I get it. A little chilly. Yeah, winter kind of sucks. I like to mix it up. I definitely am going to be doing more reviews. It's my time to do those. Last year, I was just kind of down in the dumps and didn't really want to produce a lot of stuff. This year, definitely have the urge back. So I've been digging the gear stuff. Dizzle, what about you? What do you have any different plans for next year, fishing?
I'm going to continue to fish one of my all-time favorite lures, the swim jig. But I think, I've been saying this a couple of times, a couple of years in a row now, but I think I kind of want to get a little bit more into using like a little bit more finessey stuff, not BFS, but more making sure I always have a spinning combo with me and being more apt to pick that up and throw that.
I'm not mad at that. I was hoping maybe we could get this to work. Bass AF 817. We need Dizzle and a yak for 2025. I'd be down for that. We need to maybe we'll start reaching out to some companies saying, hey, listen, we got this guy Dizzle. He's kind of a fluffy fellow, so we can't have one of these little tiny kayaks. We need a good sized yak here. What can we get going? And I think it'd be fun to have us all yakking around. Hank, if you end up getting a kayak, you can come out our way and join us. We can yak around.
I do plan on eventually getting one. I've got a couple of rivers here that I'd like to use during the summer. So if I do it, it's going to be like really scaled down. But there's a lot of other plans right now, So I don't know how soon that'll be, because I've looked into them, and for one to haul my fat rear end around, man, it's going to cost me about $1,300 for me to get put in one, because I'm a big boy.
Yeah, and you can find using. That's what I was gonna say is, and Dizzle, I didn't mean to sound like a prick. I guess calling me out for that. But Dizzle and I've talked about it, and that's what he's like. I'm kind of a big dude. I don't really want to mess with the kayak stuff. And I'm like, well, there's so many new ones now. I guess was my point of that is big dudes don't have to be uncomfortable. I mean, there's so many. What is the XTR 130 or whatever the new one is? Is it Bonafide's new one? Frickin' sick. Like there's so many new ones that are because kayak fishing is just blown up so much, so they've come out with all these different, then you got these sissies crying about, well, it's not a boat, just get a boat. It's like, well, I could spend $3,000 on a great kayak with everything I need, or I could go try to spend $30,000 on a decent boat. Good luck, right? So yeah, that whole argument is just stupid when people say that. But
I don't know. I have to disagree.
You think you could get a good boat for what?
Yeah, I just sold a great one for $8,000.
I think that's not very easy to come by up here. I've seen a lot of stuff in the South, but
yeah, you're gonna get a little more of that. But
yeah,
here, I sold one for $8,000 that had 200. Now, it was a little rough around the edges. She wasn't as shiny, but I sold it for $8,000. It had 4 graphs, live scope with the new transducer. So.
Well,
hey, Debo Victor Simonson said the talk should be about snow dogs with the cold weather.
Yes, Victor. Still one of my dreams is to own a snow dog so I can be out on the ice just going out there. Maybe someday. Well, okay, so plans for 2025. Do you have any, guesses? We kind of talk about this, and maybe this is something we'll cover more as the year's kind of closing, but do you have any thoughts on what the industry is going to look like So I know Hank has been to a lot of the big shows. Maybe we can pick his brain more. But each year, I feel like we've kind of hit some of them pretty good. You know, the big swim baits a few years back. Obviously, BFS I think is going to continue growing. The the hover minnow, forward-facing stuff. Everybody and their uncle coming out with a bait. What do you guys think? Do you have any ideas of what do you think it's going to look like next year? Anything new or different? Or even in the companies, I've heard a lot of the companies, having the whole COVID hump, that just absolutely exploded and then kind of coming back down from that.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that's going to impact too, or what? I don't know. Just open thoughts.
Honestly, I think with, kind of touching on that point with, the lack of or the inability to get all of the like electronics and different things like that, I wouldn't be shocked, maybe not this next year or maybe even the year after, but coming up very soon, I think there's going to be some sort of electronic, or whether it be, a type of sonar, the way that you fish, maybe a new type of reel, something that's going to come out that's just kind of going to blow it all up. And I don't know if it's going to be for a good thing or a bad thing. I personally, I've never used forward facing sonar. I haven't done anything like that. I think it kind of takes a little bit of the fun out of it, but that's just me never having used it. But I think it's going to get
We'll argue about this.
I think make it to the point where you're not taking all of the skill out of fishing, but we're kind of going that way where it feels like there's more and more things coming out that give us a little bit more of advantage, or give some people that have the technology more advantages.
So you're saying like, well, for example, they just came out with the new Eagle Eye, whoever it is that makes that $1,000, essentially a new all-in-one $1,000, everything you need, transducer and everything to give you live scope. It's a more condensed cone, so it's not as big of a view. It's a more condensed, kind of a more budgety version. But yeah, stuff like that.
Which
Hank,
in my
what do you
opinion
think?
makes it easier if you have a more condensed.
It's true. Exactly what you're looking at.
Okay, what's probably the one most overlooked and whether you're especially if you're fishing shallow, the most overlooked, least talked about skill that a good or great angler has over a good, average, or bad angler. And it's
accuracy.
Yeah, accuracy.
Yeah.
So to me, a smaller cone just means you have to be able to cast more accurately to those fish to keep it inside that cone. Mm-hmm. To me, I think you're going to see. I don't think we'll see anything released, any sort of new big world-changing technology right now, because everybody's still waiting to see what the pro leagues are really how they're going to hash out everything.
Right.
With,
not to
and sonar.
Not to cut you off there, Hank, but Hawk Fishing and Outdoors actually just posted at 7:46 the MetaQuest 3 connected to 3D augmented reality 360 blah 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 whatever. I know it didn't work too well, but I think it was John B did a video a while back where he hooked up whatever the Apple thing is, the Apple glasses,
the goggles or whatever,
to his forward-facing sonar. So I mean, I could see crazy stuff like that too.
Oh yeah, but see, that's already been out. See, about 4 years ago, now the company was so before their time that they ended up falling flat on their face. But at iCast and the John B thing, it was just a big screen. So I mean,
well, no, he used the Apple glasses.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen the video.
And that it didn't work that well. It kept disconnecting. But I mean, it's crazy just to think of that stuff.
But as far as what's coming with that, I think is you're going to have that augmented reality. But like I said, about 4 years ago, there was a map company that actually came out with a product in iCast. You can still find, I can't remember their name. You can still find them on YouTube. Their YouTube channel's still out there. But you actually had glasses and it would just do the map of the bottom. So when you turn, it would actually show you the map, which I thought was pretty cool. But it really, honestly, it was before their time, and they'd have to probably get one of the major mapping companies to be able to work with them, or all of the, Lowrance, Humminbird, all three companies to kind of allow for that to be a peripheral. And for the most part, all those companies love to be so segregated that they, unlike most anything
It's
else
mine.
in the fishing
Yeah.
world,
It's ours. It's my technology.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sloth, depending on where and how you fish, you could always take like the ice fishing bundle. If you fish docks and marinas and stuff, that would work for it. You'd be able to spin that around. But yeah, just from the bank, that's kind of tough. They have those like deeper sonar things. I've never used one.
Castable bobber looking things.
They're actually pretty cool now. You can even use them to map the bottom with now. So if your pond don't have a map, it'll create a map. You just reel it at a certain speed. It's pretty cool.
Wow. That'd be kind of cool. Who will the first pro be to fall in the lake wearing a VR headset?
It'll be one of the younger kids.
Yeah, messing around. Yeah, or an aqua-view. That's why I'm excited for ice fishing is, dude, I get the camera out there and it's just like video game fishing. I mean, you get to see the actual fish come up, but like it's a camera. It's not sonar BS. It's a camera. It's amazing. Yeah. I can't wait to get on some with that.
I've been dying to get one. I just never have come off the pocket change to grab it,
Yeah.
Because the lakes out here are so clear. I mean.
Oh, yeah. That'd be awesome. How about lures? What do we think for lures? Kind of some of the same stuff as we've been seeing. I think BFS is going to continue to make a surge. Continues to surge.
I think you'll see a lot more manufacturers getting into it. And that's kind of what it's been the past 2 or 3 years. You go to ICAST or any of these shows, it's been like teeny tiny or super big. It's, kind of went to the extremes. I think you'll start seeing a lot more, probably a lot better. I know that term, I say that you loosely, bigger glide baits and swim baits, that more the mass manufactured sort of brands, like Spro's done.
Gotcha. So maybe even more collabs with companies like that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I don't mind that. Yeah. Instead of trying to fricking find a Chad on eBay for $300, you can get a Spro one for $50.
Yeah.
Exactly. Dizzle, what do you think? Any new changes? You think there'll be any new floating jigs out there so you can fish a topwater floating jig?
Right? Who knows? I'm just wondering, like, how big is going to be too big when it comes to like a big glide bait or big swim bait. I mean, some of those things that they have now are freaking massive. I mean, nothing that I would ever throw. That's just like
they get huge.
Is it going to continue to get to that point where it's like a massive, huge lure, or is there going to be something that's going to revolutionize, like we say with like a glide bait or something like that, the way that it pivots or something crazy like that? Who knows? I don't know.
I think kind of the mass, I think about that 12-inch is about where anybody really, maybe not even that 12-inch, that 9-inch is really where most people, I think that's kind of the cutoff for the mass produced sort of,
I've heard most people say that's way too big. No one would ever use anything that.
Well, I hope so. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, lots of I see multiple BFS. Addicted Angler said he never got the BFS hype. I was the same way, man, until I stopped thinking about it as the super ultralight stuff and just looked at it as like really downsized bass stuff. And that completely changed it for me, because you see these videos of people casting like a 187th, and like it's like I don't really care about that. I could use a super ultralight spinning rod, but it's more comfortable for me to fish a bait caster all day. So if I can throw like a little 1/8 ounce popper or some of these other things on a tough day, I just like mixing it in. So it might be worth a look that way.
I've got a combo. I've never strung it up. I've just used my crappy rod.
Yeah.
And then my biggest problem with a lot of BFS is, do you got one that'll get to 20 feet real quick? Because I've got 2 times a year when I'm fishing it, and it's like in the spring or in a little bit in the fall. And then other than that, unless it's top water, just forget it. It's BFS for me is it's just too shallow.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I was gonna say. A lot of it is, bank fishing, walking around the places that you're fishing, 60 feet deep, these super clear, deep reservoirs. Yeah. It doesn't really make sense. I agree.
Well, I mean, what's odd is, what I've kind of discovered is that during the summertime, the bass are over deep water, but they're not really deep. I think that's pretty cool. But,
Out there.
During the wintertime, have a good time, because I'm already, 2 weeks ago when it was 80-degree out, I was catching smallmouth and 65-foot deep.
Jesus.
So, and I guarantee with this cold front, they're probably 80 feet down now.
That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Oh, I do hate it. Like I do. But if you want to win tournaments, you better live there.
Right.
So
what about, do you have a focus for next year? Anything different you're looking to learn? I always like to put that out there for things that I want to learn, something I want to try more. This year, I did definitely get a lot more working with the stupid tube. Had a number of good days on it, learned some really good tricks when I went up and spoke with Mr. Mike Dove, the Thunderhawk crew. They showed some cool stuff. He was an absolute hammer at fishing it. I mean, we were struggling to even catch a fish, and he just whooped our butt with the stupid tube, mainly the stupid tube, just throwing that around everywhere. So wow. It was cool to see somebody so confident in a technique that's still not like, obviously the tube's been around a while, but he's like, dude, I've never put it down. So I think that would be cool. If I could travel and fish with people, that's what I would like to do. Is my show would be showing other people, big and small. I'm not saying pros. I'm saying anybody that's really good at something. Like you find a local hammer in Wisconsin that just wins all the frog fishing tournaments around, or you find a guy down in, like by Hank, go down and fish with Hank, focus on deep water. And I think that would just be cool, is not go around and be like, oh, I fished with all these pros. Look at me, look at my channel. Like BS. Like, let's go fish with cool people and learn,
That's eventually what I want the channel to be. Right now we're in money save mode. We didn't fish any tournaments last year. We're not going to this coming up year because we've got everything sort of lined up, but we're going to have to, I don't want to any other expenses. So I want to be able to see, let's just do what we need to do for the channel and all that. We may not do as many shows and that sort of stuff. But as far as like something that I'm learning, like, and I know everybody's going to beat me up for this, but it is like I have learned so much using live scope in 2 years about bass movements. It has blown
it's cool.
my mind at the stuff that I have discovered. And, especially on highlands reservoirs, I mean, these deep, clear lakes, and how bass actually chase shad, when they do certain things. Because even if you don't catch them, you can actually see where they are. And unfortunately, that is, believe it or not, with a live scope, what tends to happen. I've got videos where I throw at a school of 150 bass and I catch one.
Hank and I have talked about it before. I mean, I have no skin in the game, but it's the same thing with ice fishing. I mean, I can see all kinds of fish on my sonar pinging. It doesn't mean just because you see them, you're going to catch them. I can see them on a camera. I can see the exact live fish on a camera and be moving the bait and still not be able to catch it. So just because you can see them doesn't mean you're catching the fish. So,
but I do think that's the part that I've really enjoyed, is being able to more precisely begin to tinker with baits. And that's what I hope that we see. And I've talked to a lot of guys, and I'm kind of ruthless when it comes to business. So, I'm one of those guys. Look, man, I believe in a fair market. And I've heard a lot of companies are hurting, whether they be this company or that company, because forward-facing sonar is hurting them. Okay, be innovative. I mean, that's your job as a company.
Yeah.
Adapt,
improvise, overcome.
Because, I mean, I know, I can promise you, the minnow bite is almost completely dead. Yes, when they're in certain moods, but that if you're going out and getting a forward-facing sonar right now and you're rigging up a jig head minnow, have fun not catching them. You're about 2 years behind. So, I mean, it'll still work once in a while, and I keep it on the deck, but trust me, I've got an array of crap that I got to run through to get them to bite. And I want to see people start to learn what the fish are actually doing and what triggers them.
Mm-hmm. I can see a fish. Yeah. Do I just have to dangle something in front of it, or
yeah. Let's figure out what it is that gets them to bite. Let's really hone that in. And I'll tell you what, a lot of times what it's going to be. It's going to be one or two things. It's going to be something that sits in front of their face for a long time, or it's going to be something that's going to get a reaction, which means bigger,
erratic,
smaller, or erratic.
Yep. Rich. Yeah. And that's a really good point. I mean, that day Dad and I were out, it's been after the great kayak disaster 2024. That's one other thing. I won't be crossing myself and talking about that anymore in 2025. So I have to get all the mentions in. But yeah, when we were out there fishing, I had a number of followers, and I started working it just like twitching the little jig, and had a whole bunch of little bass eating it. Same thing with the big swim bait. I mean, I was throwing a big swim bait the other day, and I had follower after follower after follower. Couldn't get them to commit to it, So Rich, my stupid tube setup. So it's either usually a 3/16 ounce 4/0 hook. And that's it. 3/16 ounce 4/0 stupid tube hook. The Thunderhawk ones have been really nice because you can speed load them. If you watch that video, some of the other ones you can do it too. The real salty ones are a little tough. You just got to cut off and retie every single time. So if that's not a huge concern, just pick a tube you like. But otherwise, yeah, fishing on a medium heavy rod, bait casting. Mr. Dove converted me to that, watching him being able to snap that a little bit more and skip it. I do throw mine on a bait caster now. So unless I'm going real tiny, like a little 8 ounce finesse tube or something, but
that's something I actually have. I actually ordered a bunch of stupid tube weights because I was like, I thought I had some. And I was like, because, the smallmouth during the spring here, they're going to be on rocky banks. They're going to be on, mud flats, and a tube. You just don't hear a lot of guys throwing it much.
That's the thing. Yeah. The river guys. That's it. You only hear river guys talk about it. Guys in the lakes and stuff. And it was great for me this year. And I didn't even throw it a ton. The times I was like, I had to tie it up, and I need to do that more next year, is tie stuff up and only take, like, I took stuff out of my kayak sometimes when I would go and be like, okay, I'm only doing this. Otherwise, I'll end up going back to like, oh, I got a Ned rig here. Well, I'm going to throw a Ned rig. I like catching Ned. All this other stupid stuff. Oh, I've got a frog on and a spinner bait. I'm going to throw those. So forcing myself to throw some different stuff. Mike, I'm going to try to post some videos. Don't know crap about editing, dude. I didn't either. You just got to jump in and get editing. You'll only get better with time, I promise.
Yeah, start slow. Get yourself some sort of pattern, because editing at first is going to seem extremely, extremely daunting. But you'll get better and you'll get faster the more you do it.
Agreed. Like anything, just takes practice. Oh, Dizzle, that's what I wanted to talk about. Little mini Mahomes. Yesterday, man, he was getting a little cocky at the end of the game there, just kind of crumbled after the Hawks beat the Huskers, huh? Mistake after mistake.
Do what?
Oh, you weren't watching? Oh, no. He's gonna pretend like he wasn't watching. Well, go Hawks. That's all I have to say. Not a Huskers fan, so it's all right, Dizzle. I still love you, even if you do cheer. Oh, go Big Red! See that sign back there? It looks like a Miller sign. It's actually a Husker sign. It says Husker Life on it. Yeah, you did that just because they won.
Nope.
That would be fun, Dustin. Yes, we definitely need to meet up. Dustin, and that's a completely different thing. Throwing the Texas rig tube. Again, Dustin, river guy. Y'all got to see me fish with him, not this year, but last year. Gorgeous boat. Talk about boat envy. Dustin is the most envious I've ever been of a boat. Purpley beautifulness. Phoenix, right? I think it's a Phoenix.
Oh yeah. Good looking boats.
Oh God, it was beautiful. But yeah, fishing with him, somebody like him with a Texas rig tube, extremely confident in something like that. Yeah, like a stupid versus that. I want to try to do some more of those next year. Dizzle and I definitely have to get out bank fishing more. Our work schedules kind of collided this year, plus with him doing some traveling and stuff. But we did get to take a trip, so that might be something we do each year, Dizzle. Maybe we plan a different trip and go meet some people or something next year. I think would be really fun.
I'm down.
Maybe a couple creators. We've still got to get us met up with Hank and Jim, so maybe that'll happen next year if Hank has some time, can come out our way, because Jim, I think, is just like He's Southern Illinois, right? I think when I looked, it was like
I think
4
so.
hours to
I just
June.
root through and pick him up.
Yeah.
They don't
And I
have
mean,
your
shit,
way.
you guys can stay here. So we've got room and board and all that figured out. Just need to figure out where to fish. But I think that would be fun for next year. Also talked about doing a meetup next year of like, okay, we're going to go to a Northern Iowa place or Western, Eastern Iowa, somewhere kind of central for everybody and do like a camping deal where people can come hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick, next year it'll be drink every time Debo mentions the Great Kayak disaster of 2024. I know, man. That was $3,000 worth of stuff. That was an extremely expensive mistake, man.
That's another reason why if I'm doing it, I'm going like minimalist out on the the river. So it's going to be like 1 box, 2 rods.
Well, the thing is, just make sure everything's tethered down. Now I've got absolutely everything tethered down, so even if I tip, it's fine.
It's going to be a Zebco and a ugly stick.
Exactly.
Zebca.
I'll grow out my mullet and dye it more.
Yes. I do think I'm probably going to look at picking up a GoPro. Rob, I don't know if Mr. Rob Harrison's in here. He sent me his GoPro. Was it 9 or 6? I don't remember which one, but that's going to be my back view. I got one of the boom sticks for the back of my yak, so that's going to be the Rob view out back. I need to do that more next year, but I think I might need to get a new chest cam.
I'm telling you, man, if you're going to buy brand new, and I've got GoPros, updated GoPros, but I could kick myself after I did a little more research on the DJI.
So many people have talked about that. Grant, somebody else told me to get the DJ right here.
They don't overheat and they just work.
I tell you what,
Okay.
I have a 8, Hero 8, I think. I've never had so many issues with because I had that 4 that Debo let me use for quite a while.
They were great.
And I never had any issue with a 4 overheating, but this 8 just like constantly overheats.
Go in and cut everything off. Only film above 1080p unless you're using it to film B-roll and you need some sort of high res.
Something fancy, yeah.
It'll save you a lot. I want to kill this SOB. Trust me, I've been through it.
Mr. William Critchley, question. I'm going to try BFS, starting a small order, a Zephyr soon. Any idea on a comparable pole? It's like a cost-effective pole. I would go check out Bait Finesse Empire. Those guys are super nice. They will help you find a budget version if you're looking to spend about in the same price. I don't know what price the Zephyr is, but I would say hit them up. Those guys are super duper nice. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. It depends on how light you want to go. I know like the Tatula XT lineup for $99. There's one. I've been using the Cash and Element, which is like 120. I have the Berkeley Lightning, and that thing is absolutely awesome. It's the Japanese version, so it's like black and purple. I got that from Bait Finesse Empire, but I don't know if they still have them. So that would be my guess of what to get if you want the lighter stuff, but I'd say hit them up.
Rob Harrison had a question at 805.
Okay. Kentucky Lake would be a good meetup place. I've never fished it. That would be sick. I would love to. Dude, Andy, that is an absolute giant too. Holy crap, dude.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's a beast. Yeah, I would love to travel more and fish. It's hard with the family.
I think that's what me and Mike's eventually going to do. Like I'm thinking about eventually once we get our feet under us, my goal is like once a month or at least 1 week out of every other month. My goal when we're full time is we take the camper, we set it up, we come back, get the boat, go down, find a lake. And I want to do lakes like, not the lakes that everybody hears about. I want to do these other lakes, big, small, and just spend a week making content, breaking the lake down.
Yeah, I don't remember who the guy is, but I've seen videos come up of a guy in, I think he's Minnesota, the land of, 10,000 lakes or whatever. He just goes to like random place and is like, I don't know if there's any fish here. Let's go find out. That's kind of cool. Just like going to random spots and be like, okay, I don't know. Here's what, you can look at. It's very like, what would the word be? Like, normal. I don't even know what the hell the word is. Like, how many times do you do that? You go to a place and you're like, I wonder if there's any fish in there,
Yeah.
Rob, question, no ulterior motives at all. Any plans on releasing members only video soon? Dude, I've got 2. I've got one of me and Dizzle earlier in the year that I still have to finish. And then I've got our behind the scenes trip of Me and Dizzle going up to Minnesota to fish with the Thunderhawk guys.
Oh,
Both of them are up there almost ready to go, and I've not finished them.
that Castle place.
Oh yeah,
That was insane.
The castle of a prison penitentiary.
Don't ask whatever the Google thing is to. Don't ask if there's any located around you anywhere
Is
near.
there any
It'll change your
prisons
GPS.
Taking you to the nearest prison. We're like,
Oh God, no! There's a turn coming.
Ralph might be out this way too. Ralph, if you're going to be swinging through Iowa and need a place to stay, let me know. That would be cool to meet up with you, man.
Yeah, if you're in Kentucky, you're probably not very far from me once you get, stationed back out here.
Let's see. What else? What else you guys got? Feel free to shout anything out if you guys got anything.
Man, I got to go to Lake Hartwell and do my best Mark Zona imitation, or Fat Cat Newton, if you talk about.
I saw that.
That was pretty cool. I've never done anything like that before, so it was a pretty big, really neat tournament too. I mean, they brought they just went down the line, taking the top 10 guys from each league. So, it was an invitation. If they accepted, they accepted. If they turned it down, Didn't have to pay anything. The 4 or 5 best women, kids from, some of the best out of college. And then they gave away 5 golden tickets, man, to just random people that applied. So it's pretty neat, man. No entry fee, $50,000 first place.
Wow.
Cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
It was pretty cool, little event. Got to meet some of the pros. Some Joes, some really cool people.
Huh. That's pretty sweet. I did see, and I'm trying to find it here. Oh, here we go. Mr. Rob Harrison just dropped 10 DEBO fishing memberships gifts out there. Thank you, Rob. I will be getting a video out there very soon. Next week. I'm holding it to next week. If I don't hold it to next week, I have to give away my last zillion. How about that? Next Saturday night.
You can't give mine away.
Oh, 2. I guess I've got 2. I'll give away Randy's zillion then. Rob, I'd be down for a meetup coming from Wisconsin/Minnesota border. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I almost want to do. I feel like I have a bunch of people that follow from Minnesota, Wisconsin. I feel like a northern Iowa-ish, somewhere up by Clear Lake or somewhere up there. I feel like could bring a lot of people. So we'll see. I'll keep everybody posted, but I do. Somebody asked best jerkbait rod. We'll get your guys' thoughts on that. Hank, what's your favorite jerkbait rod?
I don't know. It depends on the size jerkbait. An average jerkbait. I like
3/8 ounce jerkbait, like a regular 110.
Yeah, like a medium. Some sort of medium fast, medium mod fast. Some I can cast for a while, but I can really, hit it when I need to.
How short do you like?
I like 7 foot, but I jerk it a little bit different than everybody else does.
Yeah, that's all right.
Got my own thing going on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hey, nothing to be ashamed of. You got it down the way you like it. Hey, you go for it.
Got the technique a little patented for
myself. Yeah, I like a 6'10". I agree with everything Hank said. Usually like a medium fast. You don't want anything too noodly. That was a mistake I made early.
Yeah.
Switching to a jerkbait was going with like a crankbait rod. And if you get too noodly, as soon as you stop it, you want that jerkbait to bring, and then just dead. And if your rod tip's going like that, from being so soft, then your jerkbait's gonna end up going like this. Like Hank was saying earlier, it's that sitting. I mean, you never get them to bite it. I shouldn't say never. Very rarely are they biting it while you're popping it. It's you pop, and you're waiting there. And then as soon as you go to pop it again, there's already weight on it.
There's already,
yeah. So
I love a jerkbait. Are you guys big fans of jerkbaits? Do you like,
We both do. Yeah, I love jerkbaits.
Yeah, hard. God. Hard jerkbaits. That's my favorite.
Take a drink. Oh, girthy Hank's in the chat.
I just feel like this is going such a wrong way.
Oh, Hank. Come down to Texas, dude. I would love to fish Texas. I've never fished anything more southern than Missouri. That's it for
Texas is absolutely a bucket list.
Any plans to increase content on Dizzle skyrocketing viral YouTube channel? Dizzle, any plans to get your channel skyrocketing with with content?
You're breaking up. What was that?
What was that? Dizzle's cool enough that he doesn't even have to have content. We're gonna get him to 1,000. So
Dizzle's going through a tunnel.
Yeah.
Yes, Bass AF, correct. Yeah, check out RAR. He actually works with the Bait Finesse guys too, so I don't know if he answers questions for them. But yeah, you can always hit him up directly. Also, of course, the Aggressively Average Angler guys, Jeff and Paul, very good dudes. Let's see. Mac got one. Everybody dropping thanks. Rob, we appreciate you, brother. Thanks for sharing the love. Yeah, this is one that definitely it will not be Hawk. I will not be coming up to join you in Canada. Shipping is too expensive, so I've just boycotted ever going to Canada now because they've screwed me on so many contest shippings up there. They could pay with the number of things I've paid for in shipping to Canada. They could pay for an all exclusive for me up there, like $10,000. I bet.
I must not have a lot of Canada subscribers. I don't have.
Well, one of them I tried to ship a reel and it ended up coming back twice, so I spent like $100 and some bucks trying to get it there. Partly my fault.
Stickers to Australia once. That's about as.
Let's see what else we got. Caden, yeah, I really do like the Caden's rods, Justin. I agree. That would be a great one. The 610. Switching to a spinning setup for jerkbaits. Interesting.
I started with spinning gear. You can cast it a lot farther. You can get it down a lot deeper, even without having to put any sort of, wire on the hooks or what are they called? The suspend dots.
Mm-hmm. Got multiple diamonds in here. Some Mega Bass, some X Prides. All good suggestions out there.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Have you ever
Yeah.
noticed that rod companies from certain regions, their rods are almost the same sort of like almost anybody that makes rods that's maybe not in Texas, the rods tend to be a little
Heavier.
stiffer.
Always. Yes.
Yeah. And then you go to Carolina where crankings
Tend to be a little softer.
Isn't that weird, man?
Yeah.
I was noticing that the other day, talking to somebody about that the other day.
Yeah, Texas rods, because people say, well, in Texas, the small fish is 3 pounds of the small ones you're catching.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that would be a PB for the year for me. Well, not really, but close to it. Thoughts on the Bill Lewis jerkbaits? I don't know, the sonar stick or whatever they call them. I tried one and I wasn't a fan of it. They're pretty bulky, I feel like.
Yeah, they're real big. Like, I don't mind the
What do they call them?
the flat sides, and I think the action is all right. But even their smaller size is still like Dizzo.
What's your favorite jerkbait?
Man, it's Mega Bass. 110+1 Junior.
Oh god, another one.
I
of these
mean,
guys.
dude, it's
Here
just
it is.
It just
Oh,
works.
Hank waving money in front of us. Hey, we're all not rich YouTubers like you, Hank. We can't drop.
I own like 3 good colors, and I just own like 3 of each one of those in case I lose them.
I was going to
I
say
only
here,
buy them
what?
when they're on sale. But you notice that if you ever notice, every single one of the ones that I like, they're all the deep version.
Right. Well, yeah, it's
1 plus 2.
your area. Yeah.
Yeah. I've already told, because man, I really like I really like that Flashpoint, dude. I like the
the Booyah one?
Yeah. I caught them up and I was like, okay, where's the deeper diving? I'm like, what are you doing to me? This is a great jerkbait. Why are you screwing me over?
I don't know. Maybe they were talking about this one, the new one. I've not tried this Twitch bait deal. But I was talking about these, the scope sticks. Yeah, they're bulky, very large.
What do they call that? That's they got a Twitch bait, but they've got another. It's kind of like the is that it? Yeah, I believe it is. That's kind of like the Duo Seek.
So is this? Do you think this is one of the things you're going to see when you were talking about? I guess not necessarily innovation, but maybe
you're
even going back. Just some different things like this instead of hanging a minnow.
Yeah.
Could you use this for those suspended fish now for a different
bait?
Yeah.
I use those like that's So believe it or not, the finisher, and like I don't give Berkeley a lot of credit for anything except being kind of sucky.
Dang.
So, but overall, like they nailed it with the stinking finisher. I mean, that bait, they were ahead of the game. Most people didn't know how to use it. I've watched a ton of videos, and almost every single one of them couldn't get it to work right. I mean, man, it was just like, wow. I was like, the first time I cast it, I caught like a 3-pounder on it. I was like, geez, man, this is awesome.
Dang.
But
because you're walking it, right? Because I've seen a lot of people fishing how I kind of thought, and I know you and I talked about it a little bit back, where you're popping it and getting it to almost do this jerk bait type deal, and then
so that bait is different than the finisher. So the finisher will walk like this, kind of a hop and over. Now you can get it to just kind of bounce anywhere if you just twitch up, but that bait walks like this. So it's like almost like a scissor action, you just kind of, so it doesn't really walk like glide side to side. That is what that bait does. It's that and the Seek are a lot like I said, from Duo. And I know there's a couple other, I think maybe Yoziri's got one too, but, and they've actually been out there. They're actually saltwater baits. And so you're starting to see a lot of that, man, as far as like the forward facing sonar crap goes. That's where a lot of the baits are coming from.
Mike, last name Christian, no relation, but he does catch big bass just like I do.
That's a big
X-Bride, he's giving some great ones there. The Icon, Dobbins, they're all good rods. Yeah, all that same. I like the 610 as well. I've even got a 6.8, but 610 is kind of my favorite. Lindsay, yes, you will see some ice fishing vids as long as we get safe ice around here. If not, I've got a little bit of time saved up I might have to use in December. Might have to take a little trek north. I might have to see if we can get some Minnesota friends up there that are going to do some ice fishing, maybe do a meetup or something. But
listen, I'll tell you, I will go ice fishing with you, but you got to have a hut, a Mr. Buddy, and I'll bring up the cooler full of beer.
I've got a one-person hut. I've got a one-person hut.
Come on,
dude, I would love
drinking beer, catching fish.
I tell you what,
person hut
on the way back from the Minnesota trip, we drove past this random gas station, and there was like this huge one of those pull behind, like you need a truck or something to pull it out onto the ice, like full on door to get into it, and electricity and everything inside. I was like, dude, that would be awesome.
I'm just talking about a little tent. I'm good.
Well, tents are great, cool. But that would be amazing.
I've seen some guys, they've got bunks built into them. Dragging that thing out. That's wild.
Could do a camp. I've wanted to do that. Do a night camping overnight out on the ice. Yeah. Be fun.
Got any VRBO or Airbnb in those things, you reckon?
Oh, hell, dude. I mean, throw that up, get ready. We'll have I can trolley you back and forth on my new snow dog once I get it. So it'll be fine. Andy, East Tennessee Fishing Show would be cool. I would love to go out there. I've never been to it. Or even like the wherever they're holding the Bassmaster Classic would be a cool meetup too.
Yeah,
there's going to be people there.
The East Tennessee show is only second to the Classic, man. It is insane.
And I was going to go because I think last year wasn't it in Oklahoma, and I think I looked. And it wasn't that far. I want to say like an 8-hour drive.
Year before that, it was in Oklahoma. It was in Texas.
Okay.
This year. Maybe I could be wrong.
Last year, the year before that, then I was thinking about making a trip out.
Maybe it was in Oklahoma this year. Yeah, it was. You're right.
Let's see. Dizzle's here in Southern Vermont. We have been like that the last few years. Pick up a fly rod and hit I'm not a fly rod guy. I can basically hook myself in the back with it, and that's about it.
I'd put an eye out. I don't want to be known as the fat dumb redneck on YouTube with an eye patch.
Oh, you seen that bass fishing eye patch guy? He's got a cool channel.
I mean, I wouldn't want to ride down the lake in his boat with him, but
we're doing fine, boys. We're doing fine.
I didn't see it. It's on my left, man.
Yeah.
Hank, not even the power bait. Not a fan of power bait at all.
No, I do like the power bait. It just doesn't work as well. Listen, I used to love, like, when they come out with the power bait. It was actually called the shaky head worm. That was an incredible little shaky head worm. But then they changed it to what was it, bottom hopper or something? I can't remember.
Yep,
what
that's
was.
it. Yeah,
and it sucked. They scaled it down. It didn't have the girth behind it. You know,
that was basically just a trick worm. The bottom hopper was just a
it
trick
was.
worm.
Yeah.
William, I'm with you, William. Man, I really like the Rapala Mavericks. Have you fished those, Hank? They're shallower, so probably not.
I don't think I have. No.
Great jerk baits, but they tend to run pretty shallow.
Oh no, I have not fished those, but I do know what you're talking about. Yeah.
They do have the deep ones coming out. So
yeah, now I'm telling you, I do love. I don't know what it is, but my two go-to jerk baits are either going to be the Rapala Shadow Wrap, and again the deep, because it slow sinks, especially in the wintertime. I don't know what it is that slow sink catches big bass. It does not catch numbers, but it seems like every time I go out, if I catch, a bunch on the mega bass, I'll put it down and I'll be able to catch like a 4 or 5. I mean, on that. And I mean, it's just like clockwork. I don't know what it is.
Have you tried the Stunnas, the Berkeley Stunnas?
I've not tried to. I've actually got a couple hanging up back here, and I've still not got them out of the box. Of course, I'm telling you, if you've seen my boat right now, yeah, you'd be like, what in the?
Yeah, because you guys think I have a bunch of tackle back here. You should. Hank showed me behind the scenes, and this dude's got like twice what I got, and Jim's got like twice what we got put together. Yeah.
So. The problem with me is I've got not a lot of tackle, but every ounce of it's in my boat. To the point it's slowing it down.
We can see everything behind you, Hank. We know all of it's not in your boat.
Those are just empty.
Pull up the finisher. Yeah, let me look. Yeah, and Hank, have you tried the Swamp Lord? I think Berkeley's got one of the top 3 best frogs on the market right now.
Now, how many? I want to know in the comments how many people have used the Credge, because I'll bet most people don't understand that bait. It's really not a jerk bait.
Somebody said it. Gators said, don't forget the Credge.
I'm very interested. It's really not a jerk bait. I mean, it is, but it ain't.
So the Berkeley finisher.
It took me a minute. Like I even said in one video, like everybody, all the press is, on the Credge, but everybody should really be looking at the finisher.
So they've got different sizes. So there's the Credge, which is like a backwards.
Yeah.
What I've seen, it works like a jerk bait, then it kind of falls like backwards.
Yeah.
If you were to have asked me what I think the Credge looks like, I probably would have guessed something similar to that with a Credge name. I don't know.
Yeah.
Why, but
it's actually jerk
spelled backwards. Yeah.
But
thanks for making me look stupid there, guys. I know it's not hard, but
that bait is. I didn't know it, man, until I seen it on the video. So don't feel bad.
I was gonna make a Randall comment, but I'm sorry. Yeah, for that one, Randall, I'm not even gonna. I was gonna say it's spelled. It's Dizzle spelled backwards. CJERK. Oh, but I'm sorry.
I will tell you this: that Credge makes an incredible fish. It. If anybody knows how to really fish the Savage Gear, oh my God, what is it with the metal lip? Oh, I just went brain dead. Riser. The riser. So the riser and it fish almost exactly the same, it's just a bigger version. Not this, the Credge.
They got some damn cool. Oh, that's purple with gold chrome. Oh, I'm gonna have to get some of those and try that.
Dude, out where you're at, the smaller one, just walking the dog with it, just getting it to really and working it quick and keeping it up. And the great thing is you can really just, adjust that glide to it too. But
that might be one I work on next year. Yeah, because it's a cool bait. I bought a couple. Let's see there you go for the shadow wrap. Some of those. Berkeley makes the gavacho frog. No, Aussie Cat, that's not one of the top 3. I've tried the gavacho. Same thing for I know Dizzle loves it, but the what's the little frog you like, Dizzle?
The The Jackal or no?
The Jackal Kiara. I feel like those are overhyped. I don't know.
I like them.
Dizzle really likes it. I wasn't impressed with the Kiara.
See, I want to come up and go frogging with you guys because there's not a lot of opportunities to frog down here.
Come on up.
Trash piles in the spring, you know, and well, that's what we call trash piles. It's like, you know, just a deep little pocket that's got a bunch of crap. Sometimes, depending on what lake you're on, if you're on Cumberland Reservoir up in Kentucky, you'll frog a dead cow. But
I don't even know what that means. Hank, finisher compared to the 6th Sense Hyper Jerk.
The finisher. I have not used the Hyper Jerk yet. So everything I've seen, you can't get the Hyper Jerk. I think it works more like that Bill Lewis, you know, more like this, where the finisher has got a wider glide to it. So I don't know. I don't have a lot of experience with those. I just picked some up from Duo, so I'm gonna play with them a little bit, see how much I like them. I just like a bait to be able to stay in place, and that's hard because you've got so many levels of water, you know, that you got to get the weight right. That's one of the things that kind of drives you crazy about hard baits.
That's crazy. Panda says in Iowa, Northwest Iowa's already froze. I'll have to keep an eye on Clear Lake. I might take a couple days up there and just, I don't know if there's like an Airbnb, but it's like a 3-hour drive for me because I'm in like the very southern part of the state. But that's cool, Panda.
What is weather like up your way?
Right. I think it was 19 today.
What's it been like over the past, say, 2 weeks?
It's dropped quite a bit. Really.
It was 50. It basically hanging out at 50 there, and then we just had the whole cold front.
Yeah,
a few days.
19
back.
For a high.
30. Yeah, 19 was high. I think. I don't know if it even broke 20 today. I wasn't even outside, but
there's that doesn't count the wind chill though either, Hank.
It's that wind chill that'll cut through you. Oh, it says 20 degrees right now.
Here I was complaining about, you know, like mid-30s.
Yeah, must be rough, Hank. Must be rough.
Yeah, well, you know, we all have to bear crosses.
People talking about worms, Berkeley worms, old monster. Hank talking about his.
Oh, I love an old monster.
What else we got here? Don't care for the stunner. I have multiple people talking about that. The finisher is a silent killer, says Jason Emery. Johnny says, I will not support Berkeley. Johnny, aren't you the Daiwa guy? See, Johnny, you can't change your damn avatar and name. I hate it when people do this. I think you're the...
Yeah, I think they're brand new people.
I know the name and the avatar.
And... Then you're like, hey, welcome to the channel. And they're like, I've been here for 20 years.
This is my old deal. Oh, yeah. Somebody asked Dizzle, what are your thoughts on the Guggen rods?
Oh, yeah, I answered that in chat already. I've never used one.
Yeah, he just hung out with them and was sponsored with them, but they never sent him rods, so that was crazy. Question for DEBO'S. Sloth, what's your question?
Go down like 4 comments. Oh.
What type of sinker do you use for a free rig? So I've mainly used the like the cylindrical or the teardrop type.
Are they on Tackle
with
Warehouse?
A little round opening? Yeah. Well, no. So the ones I got were from Bait Finesse Empire, either NACO or Reigns, because I was using a 1/16 or a 1/8. Mm-hmm. They've got them on here though. If you just look up like,
they should be free rig weight.
What? No? How do you not? That's because they're drop shot. A lot of them they call drop shot weights, but it's so it would be one of these, but it's got a round opening. How do we?
Did you try free rig?
I did, and it didn't bring it up.
Whatever.
So it'd be this. Okay. This is exactly what I use. Oh, they've got the 1/16 too. Dang. $5.89. Not.
I like the straight cylindrical ones. I think there is just like a little, like those. Yep.
Yeah.
Those
like
tend to
more teardrop ones.
The teardrop ones, yeah.
There.
Yeah, they've got some that are a little bit smaller, almost like
like
these.
those.
Yep.
See, the reason why I like those is because you can go a little bit heavier if you're in deeper water, and that bait, especially if you put on a some sort of elastic style floating plastic, whatever company, and as it falls, it'll give it resistance, so it'll be real fine. They'll set up, those cylindrical ones will fall over. They're good for grass, but when you take and pull your line, you can feel it come down and hit. If you do it just right, it'll bounce back up. So that is a very targeted deal. I like it.
Blind Eye, the little booyahs, the little like small pad crasher, completely underrated. I hadn't thrown those forever, and I had got one crushed this year on open water. It wasn't even around anything. It was just a little lake with open water, and walking it just like I would a little, like a walking bait.
I picked up some of those this year. I was a little bit late because I was wanting to throw the topwater bite wasn't real great in open water. I was wanting to throw some of those just to see, hey, let me try something different.
The popper. Oh, that's a good question. What was your bait of the year? I've already said it enough, but for me, popper. Hands down, poppers of different type. I feel like I could go anywhere this year and catch a popper fish.
It was such a weird year because we had a drought here so early. I don't know. You're gonna have to give me a minute. I'm gonna have to really think on that.
Oh, a drought. What's that like? We've only had one for what, the last 6 years?
10 years. Yeah, Lucas, they are soft. Berkeley absolutely nailed it. The hooks, I mean, they've got the fusion hooks, sticky sharp. It's a little bit heavier frog. I've heard people say they don't like it because it's heavier. But I mean, if you look at it profile compared to like a Spro, it's not much different. So,
okay. I think I still have to go with topwater, man. Bait of the year. The good old Pearl Melon, man. One knocker, heading.
That was your number one producer for the year, you think?
Dude, it's been probably my number one producer for the past 5 years.
Wow.
I mean, it's just, they're just, God, man. They get out in open water. Even before I had a live scope, I kind of figured out this bite. We've talked about it for years, that topwater out there when they get over the ledges and suspend up. And that's just a bait that calls them. It's like that knock goes, come get it. You know you want it. Oh, yeah, you come. But
the Berkeley Drip Summers, that was one that when I saw it at iCast, I'm like, I don't give any damn about that. Hold on, actually.
Uh-oh. It's fun when he gets up and you're like just about to say something and he can't hear because he doesn't ever have his wireless earbuds charged. And here he comes. And like nothing happened.
I can find that set up real quick.
Oh, yeah, okay. What was your second bait then? Outside. Let me re-ask the question. What was your bait that surprised you this year that produced a ton that you hadn't previously used?
Gosh, I know that there's one. I know it really. I think it might have been the spinnerbait this fall.
Yeah,
in early spring too. We got on a great. That almost have to be almost the second bait period because we got on such a great shad spawn bite, throwing that bone booyah.
Yep.
And got on a great bite early in the spring. And then I love, man, during the fall, there's just a point where if you're on a largemouth lake, for us, it's normally around that low 60s, upper 50s. They'll stop feeding in open water, and they just they go to the bottom or they go to the trees. And when they go to those, blowdowns, laydowns, whatever you call them, you can take a big, heavy. One of my favorites is a stupid Strike King that I can't remember what it is. It's something deep, but it's like a 1 ounce, man. And you put a green pumpkin. It needs to be like a green pumpkin in this clear water, not all that, bluegill special color. And you just work it down through them, man. God, they get killed. That's probably doing that. I just love a spinnerbait bite. That's one of my first 5 baits I ever caught them on.
Oh yeah,
it's a bite that seems like it's harder and harder to get anymore consistently. At least
right. I think it was probably the last time I went out fishing. I probably caught or hooked up to what I think probably could have been my PB, but I had a stinger hook on the back of a spinnerbait
Oh,
and it kind of nicked a gill. And I was like, I'm getting this thing back in the water. I don't want it
yeah,
to die, you know?
that's
But
good.
yeah, spinnerbait worked out.
Not a lot of people would have. They'd have been like, "I'm weighing it. I don't care."
Yeah,
I might
right.
have been one of them. I ain't gonna lie.
So these are, it doesn't show great on here, but they almost have this like inside flash. And on a chatterbait, these things look absolutely awesome. I was going to say the drip swimmer, which has like a tiny paddle tail, and then the drip minnow. So oh my
I like
God.
it. That's super subtle.
Yeah, very subtle. And they have the inside piece where when the skirt flashes there, you can see it like when it's going, it looks like a real, like the belly of a fish. So that's what I brought up here. I think they're cool. When I first saw them from iCast, I was like, I don't give a damn about these things, just some other, until I got it on a chatterbait. I haven't fished it on a jig head or anything, you know, done the minnow swimming or whatever the hell they call it. But
I hadn't seen them, I have to admit.
Yeah, I got some for the like the mini max, the little 3-inch ones. I think this is the 3-inch. Yeah, 3-inch for the mini max, then the 4-inch on the like the jackhammer and the stealth chatterbait, which is still an overlooked little chatter. Yeah, these things are cool. I like them. That black nose shiner looks really good. And then I think they must have a different color of one. I was trying to find that other color that I liked. HT black nose shiner for sure. Looks like the little shiners we have around here. And there's one other one I have and I couldn't find it. But yeah, that white shiner's got that
the one that got away, Debo?
The one that got away, buddy. But anyway, yeah, I like them. I didn't get to fish them much, but I did see them in the water. They look really good. But
I've seen something there on Berkeley that how often have you used a gulp minnow?
Not
gulp
much.
live sauce.
Yeah, dude. Listen, I'm going to tell you a winner, and I swear everybody. And I didn't come up with this. This is something. This is a technique we've been doing around here forever, and it's using a ball head jig, man. But we've been doing it, well. Go find those steep banks or any sort of water, and put you a gulp minnow on in the winter, 1/8, or whatever you want to, whatever lighter you need up there, and just throw it out there and come down some sort of cover and just barely shake it. I mean, barely shake it. It is killer.
It showed me how to make.
I'm max headroom.
Yeah. God. No, nothing, Max.
Froze?
What were you saying?
Well, you're,
Can you hear me? Or
yeah,
am I not coming through?
You're coming in now.
You're good.
Oh, I think it's my Wi-Fi. I don't know what the hell's going on with my Wi-Fi. But I was going to say, I was out with Nick Rundle. It's been a couple years back, super cold. And he's like, dude, like they'll hit this little grub. He had like a little 2-inch grub on and was just boom, bass. I was throwing like a little Ned rig. I was catching a few, but he kicked our ass that day with just a little tiny 2-inch grub.
They're awful in the summer because they get so soft when they get hot. But dude, they are so good in the wintertime. So good.
I didn't know about this. I'm gonna have to go look that up, Michael. Anyone take advantage of the Omnia Tatula Elite deal? Free SV reel with a rod purchase?
Whoa, okay.
That sounds crazy.
Yep.
Is that just Black Friday? I'll have to go look. Because aren't they having sales too? Is that you get a rod sale plus a free reel?
Jeez.
That would be pretty crazy.
That would be great.
Ooh, yes, I did see that. I want to get that. Talk about some of the best fish to eat. Yellow bass are delicious.
Really?
Ice tournament at 3 Mile end of January. Yeah, they're basically like a little white bass.
I caught one. We've actually got some down this way.
Oh, okay. The Mayor. Oh, dude, that's going to be a close second, Julie. The Rapala Mayor. Those swim baits are so good. Have you used those, Hank? The Rapala Mayors?
I have not.
Ridicule Hank like you did me, Debo. Go ahead, start. Do it.
Hank, it's okay. I know you're a busy
You can
guy.
do it.
I know
You
you're a
can do
busy
it.
guy.
I deserve it. I'll do it.
Stuff.
But no,
It's
I haven't
okay.
tried the Mayor. I don't know. How good is it? Like, I mean, is it
good.
soft?
It's pretty good.
Because, really like, when I look at it, I by the design of it, I sit and go, that tail ain't gonna move worth crap.
It's got good tail movement and it rolls. It's got a really good like rolling shimmy kind of to it.
I hate you. Me go check out Rapala stuff. We'll talk about that after, but
it has
okay.
But they make good stuff. They make such good stuff. Dude.
Everybody was all over it, and I was getting such, fuss over the whole thing. And then I went over to DEBO'S house and raided the tackle room down there. And he's like, "You gotta take some of these mares, And I had them for, I don't know, quite a while, and I still had never used them. And then I finally put them on and caught fish on them that day. First time using them. So yeah, I think they're pretty good.
How about a jig?
I've used our minnow, but it's a little big, so it's around me. It's going to be that certain time. What is that? What's their minnow bait called?
The freeloader or the small one? They just came out with the small one.
Yeah, I hadn't had a chance to pick them up.
Something City, Twitch City, or whatever the hell.
Now, have you tried?
I'm not good with all the minnow stuff. I just
not
have
the DEBO'S, but have you tried the? Is it Jack Off's, the one that's got kind of the lip upside down on the back of the bait? It is. What is that? What is the name of that shad? It's freaking awesome.
Ooh, talk about another topwater that goes completely under the radar. That's been a killer for me over the years. The Skitter Pop, the chrome blueback. They apparently don't make them anymore. Chrome blueback of that one. That was the very first ever solo double I caught, was 2 smallmouth. And I think I had 2 solo doubles that same day on smallmouth spots.
You ever use any of the jigging ramps?
I don't think so.
There's another surprise minnow bait.
Jigging ramp. I don't know.
Man, I feel like you guys are just gonna, both of you, like these names that you guys are coming up with. I feel like you're both gonna ask me to go buy some damn blinker fluid and muffler filters and stupid shit like that.
Oh, that's what we were looking at for those plastics. Yeah, they have been all the hype, and here we go. Mooch minnow. That's what they are. Mooch minnow. Look at that. Because they're what, 3 inches, I think? 3.5 inches. So still a little bit bigger. So what was the other one? What was the one you were saying, Hank?
I think it's by Jack. I was looking it up right now because that thing has got
by Tackle
swimming action. Yeah, has got a swimming action on it.
The chop cut prop bait?
No.
What the hell is doing that?
I have no idea what this is. Ooh, I like the back. Okay.
You gotta get one of those, Debo. Put it in your cart right now.
That's on clearance, 44% off. Okay, let's load up a cart.
I can imagine why.
The hell is it? Does it have a thing on the back?
Good looking color, bluegill right there.
What's that called? The Jackal prop cut? Huh?
Yeah.
Chop cut prop bait.
Never seen that one.
It's a cut. Oh, look at it. Get it? It's simply a cut above other topwater lures.
Is it their version of it? They're like, well, we don't really want to make a plopper. Let's just break the bill off this. This is pretty funny. Look at the marketing of it. At the front, the Jackal chop cut prop bait features 2 thin blades that slice through the water, creating a powerful sputter and deafening acoustic. Unlike one-dimensional chuck and wind style baits, the Jackal chop cut prop bait speed dictates its pitch and action, so anglers can vary their retrieve. Man, they got good marketing writing on it.
They got some
I do really like that black and
lure
purple
colors.
Anyway, sorry, I just saw that thing. I don't even know.
No.
Okay,
it's go up there. It's right there at the top. The one I was saying, whoa, you went past it.
Oh.
The little plastic looks like a minnow bait right there. The drift fly.
Oh, the drift fries. Oh yeah, everybody's all over these right now.
Dude,
are they good? Have you fished them?
Yes, man. If you put them on I'll tell you what. Get one of the Queen's tackles. What is it called? Like hover strolling. It's like a jig head minnow, but the hook eye is pointed back at the hook, toward the hook. The eye is pointed back, and when you put it on that drift fly, dude, that thing swims like this coming through the water. I mean, again, trust me, I've not done a video on this bait yet, but I've been dying. Yes.
What dude, the hell?
it is nuck and futs, if you feel.
So does it swim like this when you're pulling it?
It swims, it literally, so it's got a straight tail and it literally does this. And so the faster you reel it, it'll be like coming at you. It's crazy. Put a loop knot on that thing and hold.
But I would think with this, if you're tying it behind the head of it, it seems like it would want to make the bait do this.
It'll come down just a little bit, but it's how you put it in the bait. You rig it up higher than you would. Oh, I don't know. You're not froze up. Because stories like this.
No, I'm just trying to figure out. Yeah, it seems to me like but I guess you're popping it, so you're not. I guess you don't ever have. You don't ever have tight.
You don't
line.
even have to pop that, dude. Like you just put it and reel it.
Okay, Debo might have to make. I did make a little order. I might have to make one more order.
It's nuts. The
Tackle Warehouse does still have the the Black Friday sales going on. So
rig it high on the nose.
Okay.
Shallow in the back.
That sounds like a dummy version of the Minner stuff that I could get down with, where I don't have to.
It's a killer.
Okay. Mike, I don't know who Cole is, but he said got a fish with Cole Sands a couple weeks ago. Learned a few things. I'm guessing he's a local hammer.
Is Cole Sands? No, I'm not gonna say.
Or is he a pro? I don't know. I don't keep up on all the pros.
Is he? No, I don't know.
Question for the chat: what technique will you try to learn? Oh, okay, I think I'm behind on that.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah, this was from what 8:39. Yeah, I'm a little behind.
I was busy trying to find somebody that had a video about that super chopping, cutting, switching plot bait. It was like 4 pages into Google before I found somebody that had a video about it.
Dang, my buddy caught 3 fish over 7 pounds on a gulp minnow crappie fishing.
Nice.
That's the way it goes for me for muskie fishing. It's like I throw big muskie baits, nothing. I throw bass stuff, and it's like, oh, random muskie catch.
The only 2 muskies I've ever caught in my life are both on bass lures. Of course, one of them was I think like a 9-inch soft plastic swim bait. But
oh, it's the older model Tatula for the sale. Gen 2 SBs. Okay. That's still pretty cool, though, especially if you get a sail rod. Might as well get a free reel. Those are good reels.
Heck yeah.
Oh, that's for Omnia Pro members.
Mm.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, the roll is real good for the mare. Yeah, it does have a good side-to-side kick to it. Ooh, Academy has the Arid X is $37.49. Great deal. Arid X is an excellent. I know Hank will support that.
Yes, 100%.
Dizzle has you have the spinning rod version of it you like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are a little on the soft side, so if you order them, just understand that.
Yes. And I think they're coming out with I did get the Citizen Micro 3.5-inch swim bait. Looks sick, but silly crazy. Oh, it must be expensive. Skitter Pop Rocks. Yes, dude, that's an old forgotten little popper that I was gonna throw this year, having all the popper success, and I forgot about it. I was too busy throwing new stuff.
Dude, did you ever pick the crank up? The prank.
No, the popper with the lip.
Dude.
Nope.
That is probably it 100% is my go-to popper now.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. It's if I've got 2 popper rods out, one is that, number 1 is that, and number 2 is the Rico.
I got multiple Ricos with you and the other people slaving all over the Rico. Oh, it's so amazing. It's just finally got some of those. They are damn good. And I also got some of the Yellow Magics. They seem to be very, very similar to the Rico.
Yes,
both very good. For Rapala, the P71, the larger popper. Have you thrown that? Kind of a throwback.
I've not.
Super good one if you like a little bit bigger popper. One is the Arc. You might want to look into the Arc. It's got a very different blooping sound to it, and both people that I was fishing with had said that when they heard it. It's the
After you get done looking for that, Hank, there's a question for you at 8:53 from Little Rich about deep cranking.
All right, that would be 953 for me. I always have to think about that. Okay.
Just so you have a little bit of heads up.
Is it that one? That doesn't look like it.
All right, Little Rich. It really depends on what you consider deep. You know, when you say deep, or you're throwing, you know, those 10XDs, those 35 to 6 foot divers. How deep do you really want them to get? You know, with those, I mean, I'm not a buggy whip sort of guy, so I really like to be able to feel every rod or every rock, every, you know, thing on the bottom. So, I mean, for me, I mean, it's almost 3 rods. I can't really, to be honest with you, I can't even tell you which ones I'm even using right now. But TFO makes a good one. I think they make one in their Pro, and it is like a 7.3 or a 7.6. It's a medium, moderate, and it'll cast pretty much all the way up to maybe a or, you know, something that's comparable in that 8XD. And then from there, I mean, I would say 6XD, maybe the 8, I don't know. But from like the 8s all the way up to those 30+ foot divers, I mean, I just use a good A-rig rod or a you know, long, you know, just broomstick, because even with a, you know, 6.5, man, they're going to beat you to death. So,
some funny comments out here. Diggs was talking about that, whatever that jackal thing was. Says, looks like a Wigglewort and a Huey had a love child. Opie, I love BassGeek. Oh, Opie Taylor.
Thank you, Opie.
Let's see. I'm just going through other questions. Oh, Hank, here's the one. It's the P. I think they call it the P70.
You know, I think I've got some of those P70. Actually.
Yeah, very cool little walk and plop to it.
Now, I'm telling you, you need to spend time with the prank, bro. It's
okay.
I mean, if they come up and you see them following it and you stop, or you know, I mean, you can just slow wind it, and it's got this real wide kind of movement to it. And sometimes they want that. So if they're missing your bait a lot, it's nuts. You can do so many things. Now, don't walk. If you're looking for a walking popper, it's not your popper, period. But it's
Gramps in the house.
Different. What's up, Gramps?
Hoosiers. They win today.
Listen.
I saw Ohio State slapped Michigan. That was pretty crazy.
Listen, Gramps, you know, my favorite team, you know, my team is Florida State, the Noles, you know, Bobby Bowden back in the day. And, God, they're having an awful year. So,
I say, how about them Seminoles this year, huh?
I hope they fire their coach and hire yours away. So, sorry, Gramps.
All right, I think we're all caught up here. Okay, let's do a couple more questions. I know it's late out there for Hank. We'll do a couple more questions here. I've got some. I don't have a giveaway tonight. It is my goal next week to get all of these out because I've got a full blackboard. But next Saturday or the Saturday after coming up, I'm going to make up a whole bunch of. I shouldn't say a whole bunch, but I'm going to make up some DEBO custom boxes to give away for the Christmas season. So like some net heads, DEBO EWG net heads, some DEBO plastics, and some DEBO custom painted cranks. So I want to do a kind of a fun giveaway with some of those coming up. But
I say tonight we give away 1 day with Dizzle. Just 1 day.
A date with Dizzle?
You may not fish. You have to bring your own food money and provide your own transportation. But
yeah, date with Dizzle. We'll get the silent auction going behind the scenes. Okay, Hank.
Oh boy.
What are the 3 biggest fish finder tips you would give? None of that forward facing sonar talk, though. How about down and side scan tips for people?
Well, I want to give a 2D. I think 2D still to this day gets overlooked.
Oh, I do have to shout you out. I didn't even know my I don't know what it is, but it has the ice fishing thing. Yeah, it has the ice fishing thing on the side of it. I was able to use that the other day. I didn't even know it had that on it.
Yeah. Now,
So shout out to you.
The flasher, it's got the flasher on it. Yours the flasher, or are you talking about the real-time window?
Yeah, the real-time side thing where it's just a little like.
Gosh, that's how Demiki rigging started, dude. That's how
I had no clue about that. I was able to use that over grass. Didn't catch anything, but
yeah,
still
if
cool.
you don't know what, and I don't know what Garmin calls it, I don't know what Lowrance calls it. I can't remember. I just remember what they call it on Humminbird, and it's a RTS, real-time window. But all it is with your 2D sonar, you've got a little bar on the side, and it actually shows you like a flasher.
It's an ice fishing. Yeah, it's just like an ice fishing flasher on the side. It's a little like 2-inch thing on the side of your screen. So imagine your whole screen is your whatever down or side or whatever, and it's just got a little thing. I was like, blew my mind. My thing didn't even know it had it. So
so you can actually real time that. That's real time. We used to use it, dropping little minnow baits. Back in the winter, that's how we caught them down here well before live scope. We used that. We'd get over top of a point where we could see the fish, and we just drop it down to it. You can watch your bait go down. You can watch it jig up and down, and you can watch the fish come up to it. And we used to play keep away with it. Remember, we talked about it on here years ago, I think on your channel or Jim's, talking about how it was just like, Demiki rigging was just like ice fishing. The closer you get them to the surface, the more likely they are to bite. So that's probably coming into the winter. That's probably my number one deal if you're in deeper water. If you're not, down and side imaging, it's so good now. You can almost take them out of the box and tweak it. Most people fish less steep banks than me. Just use all the pixels you can if you're having to split screen and put your side imaging across. You'll get a better view. You'll be able to see more structure. And don't be afraid to back off of it and, throw stuff. You see something out there, go over it until you see it on down scan, drop you a buoy away from it, and make you a few casts till you feel it. I still use buoys this day.
Yeah, I need to get some. That's one thing I've been talking about on the kayak is I'm still not good of like, I can see the thing on the graph, like a stump or something.
Yeah.
And I'm still not good. Like it's hard for me to get in my head because it's not from the boat in the middle because you've got the down thing. So it's actually from the end of the down thing, like the end of the cone. So it's still hard for me to visualize. That's where I need a buoy to kind of get in the area and be like, okay, now I can come back by it. And
I did a video a while back, and it actually talked about the differences in sonar. And I've been meaning to do it for down and side imaging. I just never have done it, but it literally was talking about the differences in frequency and how that adjusts the cone. So you can be a 1 to 1.5 per every foot down, or you can be 1 to 1. So if you're 1 foot down, you're 1 foot across, and it gets bigger. If you're 20 foot down, you're seeing a 20-foot piece of area. And how once you start to learn that, you can figure out how to drop your bait in certain areas on the cone to be able to pinpoint bass with 2D.
That's still hard for me. I don't get it, but
that might be the geek in me really coming out.
I tell people whenever people have electronics questions, I always just say, I don't know, go to BassGeek. He is 8 billion times more knowledgeable on that stuff than I am.
But the side window, man, if especially if you get out over something that's in a kayak, you can probably be 10 feet over and still fish vertical over them because you're so stealth.
That's what it was. It was on the edge of grass, and I don't know how we didn't get bites. I mean, I was throwing a jerkbait. I was throwing. They were just stingy as hell. I couldn't get. Maybe they weren't there, but yeah, I did use that, and I was able to see my little jig going down to the grass, but nothing there. So that was pretty dope. Chatterbait rods. What do you boys think? Glass, yay or nay? Do you care?
I'm not a glass guy at all.
No, I fished both, and I would say as long as you can get. I think graphite rods have gotten so good that. Maybe you don't get that perfect that some people talk about with a glass. Graphite's gotten so good that it, to me, gets pretty damn close without having to go to a dedicated glass.
I agree. And they're just so whippy. Like I lose so much. I mean, I know with chatterbait, it's not that much, but I mean, that's still, most of those hooks are still jig hooks. I mean, I want something that I'm going to swing away, Johnny,
Looking for other questions. Question here. Thoughts on sinking braid for spinning setups from the bank?
No.
Yeah, I would agree. That kind of defies most of, unless you're fishing in a place where you're trying to keep the bait down and you're having trouble, like with the water can't, maybe like a river or creek or
don't
something.
that sound super snaggy? I mean,
Yeah.
that's like going to increase your snaggage, like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
20 times. I mean, maybe if you're almost vertical and it's like a, nothing on the bank.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not overly snaggy, you can get away with it. But
Little Rich, Hank, can you raffle off a fishing trip for Friday before Bristol?
That'd be fun. That's something else I want to do. You know, I've kind of been thinking about that. There's a lot of stuff that I want to do, but I've got to kind of get my feet on the ground and not get punched in the face too many times with, doing what I'm about to do. So just kind of taking money nice and like, okay.
Ooh, this is a Hank one. What's a good graph for around 600?
I don't know right now. It's been a minute since I've looked, so I'd have to look it up. I mean, I'm sure, Lawrence has always got some really good bang for the buck stuff. I'm not associated with them at all, but I know they do a lot of refurbs. The Bass Tank, they do some Garmin refurbs. So you can always get. As a matter of fact, I think fishing with Gramps. I think he bought one when I had one of their guys on a live stream about a year or so ago. So,
Stubby pull a snow sleigh. That will definitely not happen. He goes out, does his business as quick as he can. He's at the door going, dog absolutely despises the cold.
I don't want him out here too.
I don't know if you guys noticed the chat, but somebody just joined us. Little someone that was too good to join this evening.
I didn't know. Oh, is Jim better not? What? Thought you were traveling and doing traveling things, old Jimbo. What are you doing in here? Let's see. There was another couple questions here.
What's going on? Tackle Junkie!
Tackle Junkie in the house. Yep. Well, I don't know where that went. Okay, anyway.
Trevor got one. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not affiliated with them guys. Sorry, they were talking about getting forward-facing sonar from. Sorry.
Jim just got to the hotel. Well, good. I'm glad it was safe travels, my friend. Have fun. That's it. I think we'll call it there. Listen, everyone, we'll be back again next weekend. Maybe have a guest, maybe not. I got to get something lined up here, dang it. But I'm going to get some of those giveaways going, some Debo customs. If y'all don't follow Mr. BassGeek, give him a follow, Hank, over at the BassGeek channel. Always appreciate him. Give Dizzle a follow here. We want to have him be the first YouTube person with 1,000 subscribers and not drop his first YouTube video yet. But
once he gets there, we're doing the Dizzle giveaway.
Date with Dizzle. That's what'll happen. You guys get him to 1,000, we'll give away a date with Dizzle. So, all right, y'all. Listen, love y'all. Thanks for watching. Have a good time with your families this weekend. And until next live.